Hello everyone, and welcome to the final build video of Discovery Mountain, the Six Flags park I've been building in Parkitect. I'm not quite finished doing this build yet at the time of recording commentary, but most of it's done. There's just a couple more things I need to put in. This is just the only chance I've got to do the commentary this week, and I want it up by the weekend so that next week we can do the final park tour and we'll complete the park, because this is nearly it now. This is, like I say, the final build episode. And yeah, if I didn't do the commentary now, I've got no other chance to do it, because I need the house to be quiet. I need to be the only person here for this to work out. So that's why we're doing it now. But like I say, it's nearly finished, so I'll talk you through what we've been building and then leave you to watch the rest of the time lapse, which I haven't built yet, afterwards. And yeah, then we'll come back in the next episode for the final tour. I'm very excited now to be getting towards the end of this park, because we can look at the project in full, and I think it's come together pretty nicely. This actually surprised me, and it's turned out to be one of my favourite areas of the park to build. I didn't really know what to do with it, because I hadn't researched much into it at all, but there used to be, or maybe there still is, in one of the Six Flags parks, I think it was Great Adventure and possibly St. Louis, I'm not sure though, where they have this Looney Tunes, oh god, I forgot what it's called now, but it's like sort of pirate themed, like I think it's like a shipyard sort of theme. So I thought I'd go for that rather than the original idea, which was the Looney Tunes movie town. I thought this might be a bit more interesting to theme, so that's what we went for. I'll remember the name when it comes up as the text of the name of the land. But you know, if you go to Six Flags parks a lot, then you'll probably recognise this as from one of the parks. So I've been trying a lot more to do custom scenery now, because for an area like this, really you need it, like with all the characters and stuff. So like you can see there, we did the barrel on the right with lots of logs and stuff. This is a exact copy of the entrance of this area in real life. A little tugboat on the left that just sits nicely in there. Built that using mainly border pieces and trims and whatnot. So what do we call it? Looney Tunes Seaport, that was it. Looney Tunes Seaport. I've only built it this morning as well, so I really should have been able to remember that. But hey, it's at time of recording, it's Monday morning. Nothing ever works properly on Monday morning, especially my brain. So yeah, just adding in like some details, some little barrels and TNT crates and stuff. So yeah, like I say, it's sort of halfway between a pirate theme and like a dockyard theme, like a shipping sort of theme, which you can see really come into play with one of the rides we put in the area as well later on. So I'm using a lot of stuff from the pirate set as well, which is one of my favourite mods from the workshop. There's some awesome, really cool scenery pieces in there. A lot of it resizable, recolorable, which I'm always a fan of, because you can be more creative with it there. Putting in a couple of the modded foliage essential trees and one of the trees from the new DLC as well there, just for some palm trees. And here I have a go at building a custom fountain. This is the sort of thing that, if you've seen Astrotron's channel, which you probably have if you play the game, he builds a lot of these sort of things, like characters and stuff, and you know, he does like dinosaurs and stuff like that entirely out of art shapes, and they look amazing. I thought I'm going to have a go at doing this. I've been putting it off for so long because it just looks super hard to do. but it actually turned out alright what I built. I thought, we've got a cartoon character theme land, I'm going to have to at least try and do one cartoon character. So I think it's the sheriff. The character that I build is the one that has the two guns in each hand. So this is all copied from this fountain that they have in the actual park, where it's literally just all sorts of things piled up on top of each other, with the sheriff geezer at the top with his guns. And yeah, it took a while to make, but I'm actually really happy with the end result here. One of my favourite things I built in the park, actually, this, because it's just not the sort of thing that I thought I was normally capable of. So I'm quite glad that I pushed myself to actually try something like this. And yeah, that's it. Like, sometimes it is good to just put a little bit more time into something and have a go at something you wouldn't normally do, because you never know what you might come up with in the end. I'm not really sure what well, I sort of see what the theming they went for in real life was, but I had no idea what this tower was. It almost looks like sort of bits of coaster supports that they stuck together. But either way, I try and copy it. If you've seen this in real life, hopefully you'll know exactly what I'm going for here. If not, just Google image search, what's it called? Forgotten the name again. Looney Tunes Seaport, Six Flags, and it will come up with some images of these things I'm building, so you can see for yourself whether you think I've, done an accurate job or not. And yeah, also I've been using the new shapes that the new DLC gives us, which is so handy for something like this. In fact, I don't know how I'd have built it without them new shapes, to be honest. The cylinders that are on a sort of diagonal angle, 45 degrees upwards, they're perfect for this. So I'm so glad that we've got them for this build. Here's where I have a go at making the sheriff fella then. I hope that's the right name for him. It might not be, I have no idea. I don't know anything about Looney Tunes. It wasn't really as big in the UK. We did have it on TV when I was a kid, but it wasn't one of the more most popular ones. I suppose Tom and Jerry was. Tom and Jerry was probably the most popular. I think that's Looney Tunes or something like that. Yeah, a lot of kids at my school and stuff liked Tom and Jerry, because it is quite violent. But yeah, in general, we weren't that big on Looney Tunes in the UK. I think it is more popular in the USA. So yeah, like I say, I don't really know a lot about it. But there we go, that's pretty much the general shape of the sheriff. And yeah, I think he looks alright. It's not perfect, it was quite difficult in a way, because I was, most of the time I zoomed in as far as possible, and it was actually quite small details that I was building. I didn't build a massive big one, so getting in the right sort of positions to make it work, make it look right, was a bit more challenging. Apologies because we lost a bit of footage there. I must have just forgot to record it, or forgot to take it off pause or whatever. But that's the fountain statue and sheriff complete. I put the 2 flat rides in, so both mods. The hopper is the sort of kiddie freefall ride, and the tugboat, which fits in perfectly with this area. Couldn't really have a more fitting flat ride than that for this area. And then, like you can see, I built a very simple layout. Pardon me, a very simple calm river ride, which is going to be heavily themed, or fairly heavily themed. This is based on one in real life as well. It's called Taz's something or other, but I changed the name anyway to Taz's Docking Shipyard, I think I call it, or something like that. Or Taz's Shipping Company, I think I called it. and we just completely copy the building for the station for this ride. And I realised that it sort of uses the same colours as Moe's Tavern in The Simpsons, and obviously in Simpsons Land at Universal. Obviously that wasn't intentional. I just copied it off the actual ride, and it just happens to look kind of similar. But all in all, the station looks fine. It's the main focus here is the work that we do on the theming around the ride itself, which makes it really come together and sit nicely in the area. And yeah, again, using lots of the pirate stuff, some of the shipping containers and stuff like that fits into the theme and the area pretty nicely. Yeah, like I say, in general, this is one of, if not my favourite area of the park, which is surprising because I don't normally like doing these sort of family kids areas, because I never really know what to do for them. But for this one, because we've gone with a proper theme, I think it worked out really, really nice in the end. The only major thing I've got left to do is put a restaurant in the area and some shops and, you know, things like that, and then just a few little details. Obviously, before we go into the final episode, which will be the park tour, I will do some stuff off screen, or well, off camera. I won't record it. Just going around and checking that everything is complete and that everything looks how I want it to look. Not going to do too much more outside the park or any of that. I think we've got enough backstage stuff and all of that. There is just one thing I'd say about that, like talking about outside the park and stuff. I probably should have used a much smaller map size for this. I don't like going to the edge of the park and seeing like the blue space like around the edge. I don't really like that because it takes the immersion away. However, this map is far too big for the actual park, and yeah, I didn't really need it that big. The outskirts are too big as well. The car park seems like it's miles away, but to be honest, I don't even know if I can change anything like that now that we're in it, unless I use a cheat mod, which just seems to make the game crash and not run properly. So yeah, that's probably just going to have to stay how it is. Had another little go then using art shapes to build something here, just a Tasmanian devil outline, which actually I think looks pretty good, to be honest. That worked out alright. Again, something that I wouldn't normally try, so now I'm going to have to start doing more of these type of things in my parks, because it really isn't that difficult. It's just a bit fiddly. Like you can see here then, like I mentioned before, just adding the theming into this ride. We use some pallets and stuff there, put the bombs on them, put some TNT crates, all sort of things that you would probably see in an episode of Taz. And then I enclosed some of it into a dark ride section. Really just because it saves using the same theming bits over and over again. You don't know what could be in there, so there's sort of an element of mystery in a way. I like some of the cutaway walls and stuff that looks like they've been blasted through by bombs or whatever. I think that fits quite well with the theme as well, so I used some of them. But realise that with these walls you have to actually put them on both sides, if you know what I mean. They're sort of one-sided, so that took a bit of fiddling about with, but we got it sorted anyway. And that's pretty much it for this build. Bit of backstage area goes in, and then that's everything I've done so far. Like I say, I'm going to build a restaurant building, complete this little area, and then moving on from this, I guess just finishing off any details in the park before we go into the aforementioned final tour, which I keep banging on about. But yeah, hopefully that will be up next week at some point. So enjoy the rest of this video, enjoy the rest of the build. There'll be a couple of cinematic shots at the end as well to show you what we've done. And that's it. The series is pretty much coming to an end. So sad times in a way. But yeah, I've enjoyed building it. It's been great. Really happy with how the park turned out in the end, because I was a bit more nervous about this one because I found it a bit more challenging at some points, but now it really has come together well. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the final video. Cheers everyone, bye bye.